Okay, what we have here are two grills of the family of, let's say, inexpensive-ish charcoal grills. The one on the right is a Royal Gourmet. The one on the left is a Char-Broil. The one on the right, the Royal Gourmet, I picked up free. It was a giveaway. And the one on the left is the Char-Broil I picked up for $10. There's also the Walmart brand that's very similar. I think I found out all three of these are made in China. I don't have the third one yet, but I might at a future point. They're all pretty much the same grill, and they all suffer from the same problems. So we're going to go about some enhancements today, and we're going to do eventually some cooks, maybe later on in the series. But right now, let me show you the grills and what you can do to help them. This one, as you see, has a rusted out fire tray. This one is not quite rusted out yet, but it's going to be soon. And all these grills suffer from the same problems. They all have really cheap fire grates. And they're not, in my opinion, meant to cook on. They're not suitable as fire grates. So what can you do if you have one of these grills to prevent this and to solve the problem? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this fire tray. I'm going to cut out the rust, but I'm not going to replace it with another fire tray that's just going to last a year or two. So I have a number of options. One is, these are the grates that came with it, by the way. These are very thin, stainless or coated, or I can't even tell because they're dirty. But here's an old grate from leftovers. Somebody was throwing out a grill, so I collected the grate. You can put that over there and use that as a charcoal grate. And you're up and cooking. You can even add one of these to it if you want to help the burn of the charcoal, so that these disposable almost stainless steel little grates, grill toppers they're called. They're fantastic. Use one of these in conjunction with the other, or just find somebody giving away an old grill, or go to the junkyard and find an old grate, put it over this thing. Even if your grill is brand new, you should do this, because do not burn charcoal on these things. They will not last, no matter what. Burn charcoal on something meant to, and that would be stainless steel or porcelain enamel. Really not, but maybe cast iron would be fantastic too. Also, if you keep these grills clean and dry, they'll last. If you don't keep them clean and dry, they will not last. That's it for right now, because I am going to maybe give these guys a little bath, clean them up, and see what we have to do afterwards. All right, so I cleaned it yesterday. Now I'm sanding some of the residual rust off, and then I'm going to coat it with some aluminum foil and put it back. And that way I don't want grease ever hitting it again, or water or stuff, and it'll last. But if you don't coat it with aluminum foil, it'll just start rusting again. I have an idea. Maybe some cooking oil. I usually oil almost everything in my smokers and grills. So I'm going to try oiling this, and then I'll cover it with aluminum foil. Let's see how this does. This is a misto sprayer with some canola oil in it. I'm sure that there are better sprayers out there. You can use Pam, you can use whatever you got. Or you can just wipe it on if you want. But let's see how this goes. I think this will offer a lot of protection against moisture. I'll show you when it's done. Okay, so that's how it's looking so far. I cut out all the rust and stuff yesterday from that old charcoal tray, and I washed everything down. I even gave it a wire wheel on a grinder, and now I just oiled everything up. Okay, so one piece of Reynolds heavy duty aluminum foil lengthwise covers that tray great, and really there's no excuse not to do it. It'll protect your tray and it'll make your grill last way longer. Just keep it clean and keep it dry. Okay, so here you can see I put the old cooking grate and a grill topper on top of what was left of that charcoal grate, and now I'll be able to grill again. I'll even maybe use a charcoal basket so I can do direct on one side and indirect on the other side. And you always want to do the charcoal basket on this side because the vent is up on that side. So you want the smoke and heat to come up and over your meat and out. Okay, I started oiling the pit. So oil, this metal is just soaking in the oil. It loves it. So with some oil and then some heat, we should be able to bring this back to looking pretty good. Let's see how it goes. As you can see, that oil is making a world of difference on this grill. And I may even try something that I've thought about, I've seen other people do. I may take out my blowtorch and see about heating it up after I put the oil on. But it really does bring this pit back to life again. Clean it, oil it, and it'll look good. Okay, now comes time for the buffing. After you oil it, take a clean rag and buff it out. All right, now if you look at the bottom of the handle, it's got some discoloration on it, but I found that 500 grit sandpaper makes it disappear. There you go. Also, it doesn't make sense to me, two things. One is these bumpers. These bumpers will make sure that you don't get a good seal when you close the lid. They take off these bumpers and put some stripping around there to keep the heat in. But as you can see, this thing looks a whole lot better than it did. And I mean, it looks almost as good as new now, especially from the outside. And then from the inside, the grates are still holding up great. I think we're going to actually have way better airflow and fire control using this grate system without the original grate in, without replacing the grate. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so another idea for especially indirect cooking, I always like to have two zones, a hot zone and a cool zone when I cook. Unless you're going to use the whole thing for burgers or something. But to do a roast or even a small amount of hamburgers, I picked all these things up at the thrift shop for like $1 each, a thrift store. So you can use this as a charcoal ring. That works pretty good. I picked up this new fry basket. Actually, it's a new fry basket. And use a lighting cube. And you can do low and slow on this side, or have a real nice hot zone. Steamer basket, all nice stainless steel stuff. There's no sheet metal inhibiting the airflow coming from underneath. So that's another option. You have all these options to use on this grill. Just don't use the charcoal grate as a charcoal grate, and it'll last much longer and you'll be much happier. Okay, so now I'm going to move. That was the Royal Gourmet grill. This is now the Char-Griller grill. By the way, Never use paint inside your grill. It's okay for touching up the rusty spots or the outside, but don't use it on the inside. I'm even doing the bottom of the pan as well to protect it from rust. You can see the big difference. Oil is your friend on grills. Rust is your enemy. And then I'll coat it with aluminum foil. Okay, this is the Char-Griller charcoal grate. One of the problems of using this grate as a charcoal grate without another grate on top of it, like I suggest, is warpage. Look at this baby. This thing is no longer anywhere near exactly how I'm going to do that, but I'll keep you posted hopefully. Okay, I got it a bit better. What I did, I used a hammer, some pieces of wood, and my foot in some places. And just kept trying to get the high spots and bending it a little. And eventually, it looks pretty decent. We'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to reinstall it again. It basically just hangs by these four here with cotter pins. And I'm actually going to put the cotter pins on the inside to make it a lot easier to add, to take it in and out if you want to. Actually, before I install it, I'm going to oil it, both sides. You know me and oil, right? Bye. All right, I just got the first one in. Now I'll get the second one in, and then I'll have to do the third and fourth. Like so. You see the two pins and the two retaining clips, and I'll do that on the other side. Okay, so I found, I got the tray back in, and I found in my garage, I restore gas grills, and this was from an old Lynx grill that, some really long grates, and they seem to fit pretty good. And I'm going to use these as charcoal grates for this guy, so that coals do not have to hit that sheet metal anymore. This is a lot more robust material than that sheet metal, and it'll take the heat a lot better. So I think that'll help this grill last. Okay, so the hood is half done, and wow, what a remarkable difference. Look at that, you can barely see that rust spot anymore, and the grill's shaping up just like the last one. They make this stuff, Grill Restore, and a bunch of chemical stuff that say is safe. But I'll tell you, cooking oil, I know it's safe. So let's keep going. Okay, so this is the finished Char-Griller grill. And let me take you for a look inside. And this one is the finished Royal Gourmet. It's like a little brother to the Char-Broiler. Both built about the same, actually. If I had to say anything, I'd say because maybe it's smaller, but the Royal Gourmet actually feels a little sturdier. But here you have the charcoal tray with the new grate and the disposable liner there, and you can see the below it the aluminum foil pan, covered pan. It's in overall pretty good shape now. So that's how you rehab one of these.